Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to be talking to the Senior Vice President of Texas Security Bank about the strength of community banking. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, have you noticed in recent years, even the largest banks in the country are trying to imitate small community banks, because small community banks have it figured out. When you come into a small community bank, you feel like a real person. You don't feel like a number. To talk about that today, Tyler Pope, he's the Senior Vice President of Texas Security Bank. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me here, Jeff.
Absolutely. Did I summarize that correctly? I mean, I've noticed that even these really, really big banks are trying to act small.
You know, I think it's all about building a great relationship with your client. And so often, you know, business owners like to work with local bankers and, you know, really find that that's a great place to go to build a partnership that helps them to grow their business over the years.
Absolutely. We're going to pull up the website, and as we scroll down the website, I want to note that you guys are involved in a lot of stuff. I mean, we'll be talking about the Academy in a little bit. You've got speaker series. Why is that so important to Texas Security Bank?
You know, Jeff, as businesses grow, you know, small businesses are the backbone of the U.S. economy. Really, they're the largest employers. They also, you know, are really the backbone of our communities. So they're a great resource for the economic growth of our nation. But many times, business owners don't know what they don't know. And if we can help to provide great information to them, great data points, timely updates, it can really help them to manage their businesses more effectively and overcome some of the short-term turmoil that we might see in the economy and grow their businesses effectively.
Yeah. Well, I remember I've had other senior people with your bank on the show, and you were lifeblood during COVID. I mean, so many small businesses would have gone under had it not been for the PPP program, and you guys were on the front line.
Absolutely. Yeah. Texas Security Bank did a phenomenal job during those years. It was really a top-down effort. Everybody in-house was very focused on delivering those PPP loans and helping businesses through the pandemic. And, you know, not bashful to say that the bank really grew from from those interactions. And what we find is, you know, we can help a business owner through a difficult time or a key transaction. That tends to be a relationship that grows with us, and our bank grows as a result.
Absolutely. I want to pull up an article, and this is an important article because there was so much chatter last year about the strength of banks. Tell us about what this article is saying.
Absolutely, yeah. So what we find here is that there's so much concern about smaller organizations in today's world. I think there's an inherent viewpoint that a larger organization is safer, but in reality, a community bank has the ability to be small and highly capable. Technology has really advanced over the last few years, and there's truly a shrinking tech gap. So smaller banks today are able to put a technology platform in place that works for the client and helps them to accelerate and grow their business. And they're also able to do it in a context where they really know their client and their client really knows them. So it makes a very strong relationship, a very sticky relationship. And I think that's why the community banks are doing so well. And also, as we have talked about over the last few years, fintechs are proliferating, and they serve a great purpose. But what's very interesting is most fintechs are backed by community banks. So, you know, community banks are really the backbone of the industry. We work with businesses large and small, and the outlook is very vibrant, very healthy for years and decades to come.
Let's pull up the Instagram page, because as we scroll down the Instagram page, I was impressed that you just have a great workplace culture, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, Texas Security Bank has been named a top bank in the top bank in DFW for the last 3 years in a row. and we really care about customer experience, and we really care about employee experience as well. We had a really fun holiday party. It's the holiday season. We had a great team holiday party last week, and this week we're out there seeing clients and recognizing the holiday and the great year that we had together. So, that interaction that we have in-house between our employees, it just builds so much goodwill and team camaraderie, and it just extends out into great customer experience.
And that's kind of the Southwest Airlines theme is make your employees happy and they'll make your customers happy. And
Absolutely.
And you absolutely live that. I want to also talk about the Academy. We're going to pull up this page. Tell us about the Academy.
Yeah, so the Academy is really interesting. So a business owner tends to go through a very predictable phase of growth phases of growth from that time when they're just getting the business off the ground to where they maybe reach about 10 million in revenue and then up to about 25 million in revenue. They're still a very small company, and there's so many things that they go through that are very predictable. It's new to them, but it's very predictable. Industry by industry, it tends to be the same experience. Finding a great CPA, finding a great financial advisor, finding a great attorney, going through an acquisition of another company, going through the acquisition of real estate. These are all things that every business tends to go through, but that particular business owner hasn't seen it yet. And so often we can use something like the Academy and our business speaker series to deliver great topics. For instance, we just had a business speaker series event on customer service. And customer service is so important because you can deliver a great transaction to a business owner, but if the experience wasn't great, they're probably not going to come back and work with you again in the future. So that's a backbone of our focus, and we teach that through the Academy. We teach a number of other great topics as well. And really all of this is, what we would call an MBA light, and just allows a business owner to get the experience they need in a variety of areas that help them to be a better operator. And by the way, so many business owners are tuned into having a great bench of talent inside their company. And the speaker series and also the Academy are a great setting for a rising executive inside of a small business to come and get that couple of hours every few weeks to learn critical topics on how to manage that business in the future. And that really gives that business owner that bench of talent, that continuity of leadership, and really sets the business up for even more success for the long term. So we think the Academy is fantastic. It's been a great resource for business owners, and we've had tremendous feedback on it. We're glad to host that. We're about to kick off a new season of it in 2024.
Nice.
And we have great speakers lined up. We got plenty of spots available too if more business owners like to come find out about it.
Okay, in the final 2 minutes, I want you to talk about the health of the economy. And we should point out that there is the national economy and then there's the Texas economy. I mean, we're one of the only states that has been fighting how do you spend the surplus. To talk about what makes Texas so special.
Absolutely. So Texas, we value private property, we value the free enterprise system, and we really try not to encroach in those areas. We try to free up individuals and businesses to grow. And I think that's why we've seen such a tremendous influx of individuals and businesses to Texas. Over the last 10 years, our population has grown substantially. Businesses are being opened every day, and existing businesses are finding great success. I think a lot of that is due to our low regulation and pro-business climate here in the state. And when you look nationally, we've definitely been through a tough year. Over the last 18 months, the Fed funds rate is really the cost of funds for operating a bank, if you will. And that rate has increased from just a shade over 0% to well over 5% in the last 18 months. Wow. So it's been a tough environment to operate a bank. And, as we look back on it here in late 2023, we can really say, hey, that was the most significant run-up in rates that we've seen in over 40 years. So many bankers have never seen this before. So it's been a tough environment to operate in, but the banking system is very healthy, very resilient. Community banks are strong, and we're building great relationships, and we're adding new relationships every day. So we're very proud of the work we put in.
Outstanding. You've been a great guest. We're going to end with the website, which is texassecuritybank.com. The great Tyler Pope. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.